again squared the bunt and again pulled back. Now with 2 strikes, we'll see if Coach Joe Licht keeps the bunt on. Coughlin, the number 8 hitter, swings through a fastball for out number 1.
Overpowered right there. After the 2 bunt attempts missed, had to go up there with 2 strikes, and just Thomas overpowers her. Fastball riding up. Excellent pitch right there. Good job.
First strikeout of the ball game for Steph Thomas, and that bodes well for her and IHA. Did not have one in the first. Here's Gina De Oliveira, the number 9 hitter. She takes up high, ball 1.
I'm seeing the right side of the IHA defense very active after each pitch, as the first baseman, Coachy, is moving in to protect against the bunt.
That one slapped to the left side, past the diving Ibarra at short. Stopping at second is Grulich. Ball is hit too hard to advance. So it's runners on first and second, with 1 out for Indian Hills as they're threatening again.
Now the pitch is elevated a little bit. Thigh-high fastball that time. And De Oliveira able to turn on it and get it through past the diving Ibarra. Good effort there by Ibarra. Just couldn't get to it. Hit too hard.
So now the lineup turns over. Here's Nicole Leocata. Bouncing ball, left side, that's foul. Down the third base line.
Huge start to the inning. You got to think for Indian Hills, starting with 7, 8, 9 against Steph Thomas, then to come out of that with 2 runners on and 1 out when you flip the lineup card back over. Just a huge start. Once again, we see one of the great pitchers today running into a little bit of trouble.
The lead runner, Grulich, reached on an error by the shortstop, Ibarra. De Oliveira at first had a single as that pitch is up high.
Certainly not all Steph Thomas's fault, the situation we're in. Shortstop Ibarra could have made that play. It was a tough play, but you could have made it nonetheless. And now after the base hit, here you go with 2 on and 1 out.
1-1 is a called strike on the outside corner, 1-2.
Nice pitch again. Keeping it down, knee high, catches that outside corner. Those are the pitches you're going to live and die by, really.
That one slapped into right. Coming on and making the catch towards the line is Walter. And the runners will have to stay put. So that's out number 2.
There's out Pollard out and right there. And again, that's something that, you know, they tried to throw behind, tried to catch the runner coming off first. Pollard alert, getting it back into the infield. But still, that's something we haven't seen too much. Steph Thomas usually gets a lot of strikeouts. And right here, Indian Hills making contact here in the first couple innings.
That's out of the ordinary for Pollard. Here's Malone. She takes down low a changeup, 1-0.
Pollard, of course, already having to, she was tested early on, having to go after that drive out to right.
Gave that one the old college try, but came up a little bit short off the tip of her glove as she went over the fence. The 1-0 is down low again, 2-0. Malone 0 for 1 today. She grounded out to Pollard last inning, or rather Thomas. Thomas deals. Bouncing ball past the diving Ibarra at short. Let's see if they send the runner. They will. The throw to the plate. Not in time. It couldn't be handled by Sharma. And it's a 3-1 game. Indian Hills on top as we continue to get an offensive show.
Oh, they tested Walter's arm out in left field. It was a nice, strong throw. A little bit up the line, though. Sharma came out to try to cut that down, put the tag on. It was there. If Sharma was able to handle it, she couldn't play the hop, and therefore RBI for Malone.
That will be an unearned run for Steph Thomas as the runner that scored. That's Grulich, reached on an error to start the inning. And anything that comes after this will be unearned because if that batter did not reach, the inning would be over with 2 outs. Advancing to third on the play is De Oliveira, and the second, Malone. And this looks like we're going to have a mound visit here. They'll try to settle Steph Thomas down. She's getting hit much harder than is the norm. Already been knocked around for 3 runs, 2 in the first on the 2-run shot by Shelby Allen, and now 1 here in the second. 3-1 game. Bottom of the second, Indian Hills on top. and still threatening with runners on second and third and 2 down.
And I think this is something here that, it's not just settling Thomas down, settling the entire team down and just saying, all right, let's say, listen, girls, it's still a 2-run game. We know we have the ability to come back and overtake this team. We beat them last year. So it's just one of those, just settle everybody down.
So here's Madison Levine. Remember, she was at the plate when things started to come undone for Thomas last inning. She was hit by a pitch with 2 outs. And she takes down low, ball 1.
I think also in terms of the pitching, we've seen that Thomas has gotten hurt by pitches elevated, thigh high, belt high, and Indian Hills is driving them, so you got to keep the ball down.
Thomas deals up high, not where she wanted it, 2-0.
If you're going to miss, if you're going to throw it high, you might as well miss high. You don't want to throw one. You want to try to go high and then leave it belt high because it's going to get hit.
Well, if you're going to go high, or if you're going to miss high enough that they can't get on top of it. That time she did, but it was a ball. 2-0 is a called strike on the inside corner, 2-1.
Nice changeup. It's a bread and butter pitch, really. It throws a nice change there. Definitely had Levine off balance.
All the runs in the game for Indian Hills coming with 2 outs so far. They're trying for more as the 2-1 is fouled back to the screen to even the count at 2.
Follow the changeup up with a fastball, and now you get yourself in a nice little spot here, 2-2. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a changeup low and in.
Thomas battling back after falling behind in the count, 2-0. The 2-2 is fought off of the screen as that was in on the hands of Levine.
Oh, she came inside, just didn't come with the change, decided to go with a fastball.
Levine able to just get a piece. Now she'll tie her shoe, buy herself a little bit of time here.
And you got to feel a little bit bad for Steph Thomas in this inning because the line score doesn't look great, but you think about it, first runner got on an error, and both of the singles were just ground balls that found hole. It's not like she's giving up rockouts all over the field, but Indian Hills managed to scratch out a run.
2-2 called, strike 3. Change up on the inside corner for out number 3. So Thomas gets out of it, but she does allow 1 run. It will be an unearned run on the RBI single by Nicole Malone. Indian Hills strands 2, so it could have been worse. 3-1 ball game. Indian Hills on top of IHA as we head to the 3rd.
Check it.
Check.
I turned it down. That's what I do. When we end the inning, I just turn them down.
Yeah. How's it going, Jay? Headed to the top of the 3rd here in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. Ricky Sobrano alongside Brett Luther and Mark Insera. As the first batter of the inning, that's Daniela Ibarra, takes down low, 1-0. 3-1 game. Indian Hills on top of IHA in the Bergen County Tournament Finals. Ibarra takes up high, 2-0. So it's back to a 2-run lead for Devin Durando, who surrendered 1 last inning on a single by her counterpart, Steph Thomas. Neither pitcher razor sharp so far. That one just missed. A hair inside, perhaps. Ibarra at the plate, 0 for 1. She struck out swinging in the first inning. That one's inside, ball 4, and Ibarra works a leadoff walk.
And you have to expect both of these pitchers to figure it out, to get sharp at some point in time in this game. So early on, this is almost like a race by these two teams to see who can score the most runs before both of these pitchers get everything working right and start pitching like they've pitched all year.
Now Joe White walks out to the circle to have a discussion with Devin Durando. That's already his ace pitcher's 4th walk of the ball game, and she's also hit a batter. So she's been erratic, to say the least.
And this is a batter now that's up at the plate in McGuire. With the 9 home runs on the season, you do not want to make a mistake. 9 homers in 92 at-bats. So it's
good ratio.
It's a very good ratio, and you don't. If you elevate a pitch to Angelina McGuire, she's got a good potential to drive one out of here, and it might be coming our way if it does.
Well, Durando wanted no part of her in the first. She walked her to load the bases.
And this suffices to say, Brett, there's no one IHA would rather have coming to the plate as the tying run in this game. And just so you guys know, if the ball does come my way, I'm prepared to get out of the way and let you guys catch it.
Thanks for making that sacrifice.
I didn't bring my glove with me today.
Here's the 0-1. Bottom fell out of that one, 0-2.
Nice drop ball. That's something there that, McGuire is expecting a heater, and instead the drop came. Nice little change of pace there, and McGuire now behind.
So this one likely won't be anywhere near the plate. Here's the 0-2 offering. It's up and away, 1-2. Throw down the first, not in time.
And that was a rare example of a pitch by Durando that we've seen up in the strike zone, or up and out of the strike zone today. Most of her stuff, as Brett's been saying, has been down, has been low, trying to get IHA to pound it into the dirt.
Which if you're going to miss, that's where you want to do it. The 1-2 swung on and missed, tied her up in a knot. Strike 3 for out number 1.
Change up, low and in. Nice pitch sequence there by Durando. Keeping it low, changing the pace of the pitches there, keeping McGuire completely off balance, and there 1-2 change up inside, ties up McGuire.
Strikeout number 4 for Durando. Here's Rachel Pollard. She takes the strike, 0-1.
And now you can sit there and really challenge the hitter here in Pollard, knowing it's the heavy hitter out of the way.
Pollard grounded into a fielder's choice in her first at bat. This one tapped to the third baseman. She'll take the easy out at first. Advancing the second on the play is Ibarra. Now 2 outs and a runner on second. Top of the third, 3-1 game. Indian Hills on top.
And again, just take that shore out. You don't have to try to get the force at second. Sometimes in baseball you do that. Here in softball, just get your shore out. 2 outs now.
Here's Shayna Sharma. Takes a strike at the knees, 0-1. Sharma 0 for 1 today. She grounded out to end the first inning with the bases loaded. The mindset right now for Indian Hills might be, with the 2-run lead, that they don't really need anything else. So that slapped foul off the cage. Granted, she hasn't been her best today, but normally they get 3 runs. That's just about an automatic win.
Again, and you were saying 1st to 3, and right now, our 1st to 3 is Indian Hills.
That's up high, 1-2. We'll see if it holds up, though. This one certainly hasn't played out according to the script so far. Thought it would be a pitcher's duel. Not the case, but 4 runs through not even 3 full innings. The 1-2 slapped up the middle, weakly. Throw to first is in time by the second baseman, Malone, for out number 3.
Boy, guys, right off the bat, it looked like it was coming right at us, but certainly looked a lot harder hit than it turned out to be. It's just an easy play by the second baseman.
Yeah, a bit of a humpback line drive as IHA strands 1 on no hits. Headed to the bottom of the third. 3-1 game, Indian Hills on top of the IHA Blue Eagles.
And something to take a note here is IHA has already left 5 runners on base through 3 innings. So that's going to be something to look at. See how many more of these opportunities go by the wayside. You can't continue to have the high numbers of LOB.
Yeah.
They're usually not a good stat.
And you wonder if that top of the third inning was just Devin Durando getting whatever it was out of her system that caused her to be a little bit off earlier in the game, if that's going to settle her down and get her sharp for the rest of the game. And if it does, obviously IHA will be in trouble. Because, Rick, we mentioned before, you said 1st to 3, and right now it's 3-1. And if Durando was back on her game, well, then that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be 1st to 3, and Indian Hills might just be able to sit on this lead they have right now.
Keep in mind, this is the 3rd time in the last 4 years these 2 teams have gotten together. IHA won 7-1 back in 2011. They won 10-0 last year. You know, IHA also won 8-1 against Paramus in 2012. So it's not like they can't put runs up on the board. And I think that when there's that conference there in the second, that's what it was. It's just like, hey, let's settle down. We can score runs.
For Indian Hills, this is a potential revenge game. That's certainly on their mind. Here's Shelby Allen, who was swinging for home run number 2 on the afternoon with that cut. 0-1.
Indian Hills last won the championship in 2010, their only county championship, a 3-2 win over Ridgewood in 8 innings.
That was pre-Steph Thomas, of course. Once she came to IHA, they've largely dominated the scene. 1-1 to Shelby Allen. She hit her 7th homer of the season in the first inning, a 2-run shot with 2 outs. The 1-1, swing and a miss. Out in front of a changeup again, 1-2.
Yeah, for the other high school, Steph Thomas has almost been like a disturbance in the world, in the softball world.
A disturbance in the force.
And once she leaves, everything will go back to normal, and other team will have a chance to win the championship, just like IHA.
High chopper, fielded by a bar, and she'll throw in time for out number 1.
And Ricky, that was exactly the play that Ibarra couldn't make in the second inning. Short hop, a high chopper that she feels on the short hop. She made the play that time and got the out.
Well, this time she actually stayed back, which is not really what you want to do on a high chopper, but it worked out. The other one she charged, and it hit off the heel of her glove. So here's Devin Duranda, lefty hitter, and the other pitcher. She takes down low, ball 1. Duranda walked in the first inning. She, like Steph Thomas, very proficient with the bat, hitting .460. The 1-0 is up high, an off-speed pitch, 2-0. That's not where you want to miss if you're Thomas. That was soft and up.
And thankfully it was too far up for her.
Fly ball, shallow left, coming on and making the catch is Walter for out number 2.
That is the one thing is these outfielders on IHA track the ball very well. Walter, some outfielders, even when you get to men's rec leagues, we'll have some trouble with those.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, I've experienced that a time or two.
As have I.
But that right there, Walter, just easy, nice jogging, sure-handed.
Here's Ferraro. That was an eephus pitch, it looked like. Very slow coming in there, down low, 1-0.
A little wind gust going on there. Again, the wind is shifting around a little bit. It's not blowing across the field from left to right.
So that has shifted a bit. Not quite as out as it was before. Now it's a called strike.
It was blowing out to right earlier in this game, yeah.
It is a windy day.
I tell you what, though, you look at this crowd and everybody's enjoying the weather so far.
Well, the wind can almost be relaxing when it's as hot as it is right now. The sun baking on the field. 2-1 the count to Ferrara. 0 for 1 today. Thomas deals. Jam shot. And they'll let it roll foul. That'll even the count at 2.
A smart play by Thomas. That was a tough play with the base runner running, and then obviously the short distance between first and home. It would have been a difficult play to try and throw around the runner or over the runner. She just said, forget it. I'll try and get her on the next pitch.
And she snatched it immediately as it rolled foul, which is what you're supposed to do. You don't want to let it kick back fair, which sometimes when there's a lot of English on the ball, it will. Pollard rocks and fires, or rather Thomas. Popped up. Sharma has it to the left of the plate for out number 3. So our first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. Go figure that it would have taken 3 innings. We're through 3 full 3-1 game. Indian Hills on top of IHA in the Bergen County Tournament Finals. Back here for the top of the fourth on NJ.ORG Varsity, and we welcome you in if you're watching live on our YouTube channel. Ricky Sobrano alongside Brett Luther and Mark Insera. 3-1 ball game. Indian Hills on top of IHA.
We were talking about the weather before. This is perfect. 73 degrees right now with a strong breeze. Now it's shifted again, starting to come in.
So here's Cecil to lead off the inning. That one is lined off the glove of Malone at second for a leadoff single. The likely score that a single is that one was scorched, and Malone couldn't quite squeeze it.
That's the second bullet that's come off Cecil's bat today. If you remember back in the second, she hit the line drive that was caught to right to the center field that ended up getting caught. That time, she got a little bit lucky off the second baseman's glove.
And I think that caught Malone a little bit off guard, how fast that was coming at her. Couldn't get her glove up in time.
That was a rocket. Here's Emily Walter, runner on first. Change-up called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Wind settling down a bit here. Walter, the number 8 hitter in. Slapped right at the first baseman. She almost had a chance to get 2 there, but Allen will just get the one as scrambling back to first was Cecil.
Yeah, Cecil very nearly got caught off the base. She took a little bit of a false step off the bag, and then when it got caught, had to hustle back and dive in. But luckily for her, she's dirtied her uniform up a little bit and didn't get called out.
So here is Reagan Jones, the number 9 hitter, runner on first. She squares the bunt, pushes it down the first base line. Allen fields the first, not in time. Excellent bunt by Reagan Jones. Advancing the second on the play is Emily Cieslik. And IHA in business, runners on first and second, 1 out.
Drag bunts don't get better than that, Ricky. That was absolutely perfect. Made the first baseman come in to field it, have to get it to the second baseman, and by that time, there's no way you're going to get Jones hustling down the line.
Too much speed there. You know, you put the bunt in the right spot and just bust it down the line. That's what happened there. Just make the pitcher go out far enough where they have to, pick up, gather, and by that time you're already down the baseline 60 feet.
And here is Steph Thomas having a long discussion with her coach, Anthony Lareza.
Lareza looks like he's talking to the umpire about something.
Maybe a substitution here. We'll see. He is talking to the umpire. That's home plate ump John Hutchinson about something. So Thomas striding to the plate. Okay, it's a pinch runner. Taylor Kennerson comes in to run for Cecil, so that's what it was about. Wanted to get a little more speed on second base with runners on first and second, 1 out. 3-1 game, top of the fourth. Indian Hills on top of IHA. Steph Thomas 1 for 1 today, and she has the lone RBI of the game for the Blue Eagles. Durando deals down low, ball 1.
You can see how much emphasis Lareza is putting on just scoring 1 run here. Trying to get 1 run on your pinch running for the runner at second base, and not even the tying run, and we're only in the 4th inning. He knows how hard runs might be to come by as we get later on.
That one sinks down and away, 2-0. Well, he probably figures right now that against the pitcher of Durando's caliber, both runs are not going to come in 1 inning, most likely. The 2-0. Just missed. A little bit outside, 3-0 to Steph Thomas.
And you don't want to load. It goes without saying you don't want to load the bases here with 2, 3, 4 coming up, and still with only 1 out.
3-0 is outside as well, so the strike zone shrinking there, and Thomas walks on 4 pitches to load him up.
She's had a perfect day at the plate. She's been hit by a pitch, she's singled, and she's been walked. So she's essentially, you wouldn't call 3 for 3, but she basically is 3 for 3.
So here is Reese Guevara. Second time IHA has loaded the bases is now Malaki will come on to run for Steph Thomas.
Pitchers get the courtesy runner.
Yeah, and if Guevara or Abar hits one in the gap here with Manaki's speed, she could put IHA ahead. She could go all the way around from first on a ball in the gap.
So IHA had this situation in the first and got nothing. See what they do here. There's a strike on the outside corner, right at the knees. Perfect pitch, 0-1.
It was a change up there. She didn't want to throw the fastball. Guerrero just had to stay off of it.
The 0-1 grounded weakly foul. off of the Indian Hills first base dugout, and Guevara quickly in an 0-2 hole.
And they don't look like complete fastballs. It looks like just a little something off of it to keep Guevara out in front of these pitches.
On that second one in particular, she did take a bit off. Here's the 0-2. Up high, a waste pitch, 1-2. So Durando does not appear uncomfortable pitching with the bases loaded.
Change the eye level right there. You know, you had 2 pitches down low. Now move one up high. Try to get her to change that eye level. Sneak another one down low here.
Rocks and fires the 1-2. Outside, 2-2.
Guevara already in this tournament has a 3 RBI game. She knocked in 3 runs in round 2 against Paramus Catholic on that 8-0 victory. She's a good clutch hitter. She's not feeling a whole lot of pressure here, I bet.
The freshman takes up and in, and that will run the count full with nowhere to put her. Bases loaded, 1 out, 2-run ball game, top of the 4th.
That one, she tried to get her, Durando tried to get her to chase, and Guevara just stayed off of it.
It'll be a 3-2. Bouncing ball to second base. Malone Fields comes home with it, not in time, and the ball got to the backstop. 3-2 game as Malone makes a questionable decision.
You know what? In that case, you're charging the ball. I think what you have to, she could have taken a look at a base runner to see if that base runner, how far away that base runner was. In that case, maybe then you just spin, go to first, get the out. Instead, decide to try to get the play at the plate and run scores because the throw was high.
I agree, Brett, especially considering the fact even if that run scores, you still have the lead, then there'd be 2 outs, and you're right, she didn't have much of a chance to get the runner going home.
Yeah, that's why. With a 2-run lead, I don't think you make that play. A 1-run lead, yeah. Here's Ibarra. Base is still loaded. 1 out as she takes down low. 1-0. That will be an RBI fielder's choice for Guevara. She won't get a hit on it. Now a 3-2 game, top of the 4th. IHA within 1. Outside, 2-0.
And that play is just like the play we talked about last inning, Brett, with the runner on first and 1 out, the ground ball to the infield where the fielder decided to go to first rather than get the lead runner at second. They didn't do that there, unfortunately, and now they're only up by 1 as a result. It's still in the same boat they were the previous batter.
And this is just a conversation between coach and pitcher here. Yeah, he waved off everybody else. Just now, it's a settle down, find your spots right here. Because as you saw, you know, when you see a coach wave off everybody, that is
a little bit odd.
This is just this is between myself and my ace here, and let's just talk things over. So Devin Durando, just a settle down conversation there.
You wonder if Durando, the senior, may be a little bit upset that her second baseman Malone did not take the shore out at first on that play, as she missed immediately thereafter with her next 2 pitches, hence why she's in a 2-0 hole to Ibarra at the plate. Now she deals. High chopper foul down the first base line.
You hope for her sake, obviously, that's not what it is, because we don't want to get to psychology here. But if you give up a home run, you know what I mean. And your fielders aren't going to get upset and boot a ball because they're angry at you.
Yeah.
So you got to pick up your fielders, got to pick up your other players at some point in time.
Exactly right there. Here's the 2-1. Fouled at the plate, and she battles back to even the count at 2. Does Durando? Base is still loaded, 1 out.
And 2 tough pitches there. 1 chopped foul, and then 1 kept down low. So she's back now challenging.
Ibarra 0 for 1 today with the walk. Here's the 2-2. Just got a piece. Now the runner is caught in a rundown over at third as it popped out of the glove, and she is out, and that's how Indian Hills will get out of the inning. The ball popped out of the glove briefly of Levine. The runner tried to advance as she swung through the pitch, did Ibarra. And that's a base-running blunder there by Reagan Jones over at third as she's out. 2-5 the put-out to end the inning. They'll probably score that a caught stealing.
Off the strikeout, too.
Yeah.
So,
and you could see Lareza, who's heading to the bench, was not happy at all with Reagan Jones on that play. She obviously appeared to be some kind of a confusion because the rule is if there's a strikeout and there's 2 outs, then you have to make the put out regardless if there's runners on base. But with 1 out, the runner is just out, and the hitter is just out, and the runner stay put. But Jones didn't appear to have a 100% understanding of that rule, and as a result, they run themselves out of a great opportunity to tie the game.
Yeah, I think Jones got confused. She might have thought when the ball popped out of the glove she had to try to advance, but that's not the case. So there's a bit of confusion there, but because of the base running blunder, IHA strands 2. They do get 1 on the fielder's choice by Reese Guevara when Malone came home with the bases loaded, failed to get the runner at the plate. It's now a 3-2 game as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Things getting a bit interesting in the 4th inning. You always wonder if nerves play a role at all in these games. Some interesting decisions there. As here comes Carly Jo Grulich to lead off the bottom half of the 4th. Steph Thomas deals, drag bunt down the third base line, fielded there, but they will have no play. Will Jones, too much speed and too well placed by Grulich. That's a leadoff bunt single.
And right off the bat there, Thomas tried to come with a changeup, try to get out in front of the batter, and the only downside to that is when you lead off with a changeup, if they're squaring a bunt, it's as good as a hit in that case because all you got to do is square up on it.
Coughlin squares. She gets it down the third base line, but it will kick foul.
You see a Sharma right there pop out from behind the plate and immediately tell the third baseman, hey, don't touch it, let it roll foul. And Jones followed orders and just let the ball roll foul because that would have been another tough play to make to try and get her at first base.
And we're seeing a different approach here, bottom of the lineup here for Indian Hills. They're squaring. First 2 pitches they squared there.
Coughlin did in her last at bat as well, but failed to get it down as this time she pulls back and takes the ball.
This is such a huge inning for Steph Thomas because we saw the last time IHA scored, Thomas gave the run right back after they'd made it a 1-run game, and she obviously doesn't want to do the same thing here because that gets to the point where it's demoralizing for your offense.
1-1, bunted again, foul down the third base line. So Coughlin again fails to get the bunt down, and she's in a 1-2 hole and will likely have to swing away.
And the last time we had this 1-2, couldn't get the bunt down, and then Thomas just blew a fastball right by her.
Likely we'll see that pattern again.
Might see a changeup this time, though.
Let's see. Hold you to that. That one is ripped down the line, but foul. It was a changeup.
Yeah, we saw the changeup, just didn't take enough off of it. I also think, though, that Coughlin can't catch up to the fastball. I thought we were going to see a changeup there. Now, if I'm behind the plate, if I'm Sharma, let's call for the fastball because the first time she couldn't catch up to it. Let's go fastball right here, up.
Let's see if that's the thinking. Sometimes with the 7, 8, 9 hitters, they don't have the bat speed. The 1-2 just missed off the plate, 2-2.
It was a fastball, but wasn't where they wanted it. A little too far outside. I think you got to elevate that fastball.
Go up and in, yeah.
I don't even think you have to go in. You could just go fastball up, and she probably will go right through.
And that's exactly what she does. Good call, Brett Luther. That's a swinging out number 1, strikeout number 3 for Steph Thomas.
And that's another thing. Just, you saw that she was a little early on the changeup, but you know that she's going to get around on that. So just go fastball. Go fastball, elevate in the zone a little bit, have her swing right through. She was late on that swing.
Well, most of Indian Hills' hits have been pulled as this one is slapped foul down the line by Gina de Oliveira, which tells you that when she's getting beat, it's mostly the changeup right now, with the exception, of course, of the Shelby Allen home run, which was to right field.
Everything, though, changeup, fastball, whatever, it's been elevated
up.
When she's been, you get thigh high, belt high. That's the problem spot right there.
De Oliveira takes down low, 1-1, runner on first. 1 down, bottom of the 4th, 3-2 game. IHA trailing Indian Hills. IHA going for their 4th straight championship. That's tapped weakly behind the plate. Make the count 1-2. So this would be a shutdown inning for Thomas if she can keep Indian Hills off the board. As you mentioned earlier, Mark, she gave up 2 runs, or rather 1 run at the last time IHA scored in an inning. That's pop foul off the screen, and the count will hold at 1-2.
Yeah, the objective after your team scores, obviously, they always say your team puts up a crooked one. You want to put around one. Plus, if you have a quick inning, get your offense back right there and put pressure back on the other team's pitcher. But Thomas is having a little bit of trouble here once again in the 4th.
De Oliveira 1 for 1 today, but she goes down swinging that time for out number 2. 2nd straight strikeout for Steph Thomas.
And I think what you're seeing now is Steph Thomas is finding a rhythm.
Yeah.
And she's getting into a rhythm with Sharma. That time, and again, a nice sequence, finishes it off with a fastball up a little bit that gets the hitter out in front. I should say a changeup that got the hitter out in front.
So here is Nicole Okada. She takes outside, ball 1. Now Thomas has struck out. 4 on the game, but 3 coming in the last 7 batters. So she appears to be finding her rhythm here. Here's the 1-0. Bouncing ball through the hole on the left side, and that's a well-struck single for Nicole Leocata. Advancing the second on the play is Grulich.
Elevated fastball, and again, that was a belt high. Not so much heat, but a little something off, but enough when you get it belt high, batter can turn on it, and that's what happened there.
And you talk about Thomas finding rhythm. You go back to the home run. That's probably the hardest hit ball that Indian Hills has had since the home run that Shelby Allen hit. So it looked like Thomas was getting into a rhythm now. You wonder if that base hit like that will disrupt it a little bit.
Here's Nicole Malone. She takes a strike at the belt, 0-1, a fastball.
And the last three hits, except for the exception of the month, 3 of the last 4 hits have been ground balls through the right side. So you mentioned they've been getting ahead of her pitches and pulling these singles.
Barra has gotten a workout at short. She's seen quite a few balls, as that one is a strike on the outside corner.
So that's what happens when you elevate that change or elevate a fastball. Doesn't have as much heat on it. It's going to get pulled. That's what Indian Hills has been doing a lot of, whether it be fastball changeup. You get that belt high. Is that what missed outside? You get that belt high, and they're going to yank it.
The whole left side of IHA's infield has gotten a workout today.
So 2-1 the count to Malone. It's 1 for 2 with an RBI single today. That's a check swing right back to Thomas, and she'll flip to first for out number 3. An excuse me swing by Malone to end the inning. Indian Hills strands 2 on 2 singles, 1 a bunt single, and 1 past the Barra at short. Headed to the 5th inning. It's getting late now. 3-2 game. Indian Hills on top. Alongside Brett Luther and Mark and Sarah. 3-2 game as we head to the top of the 5th in the Bergen County Tournament Finals. Indian Hills on top of IHA. Devin Durando out for her 5th inning of work, and she will face the middle of the lineup, starting with Angelina McGuire, the cleanup hitter who takes a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, 1 swing from McGuire. Has already got 2 home runs this tournament, as you mentioned. She's got, I believe, 9 on the season coming in today. 1 swing by her could tie this game.
She is a threat. 0 for 1 today with a strikeout and a walk. Bats with a crouch stance, and she rolls over that one to first. And it's an easy out number 1 as Allen takes it herself.
Yeah, she's been neutralized with the last 2 at-bats. The strikeout back in the 3rd, and then a weak ground ball there. Duranda looks like she might have the book on McGuire, exactly how to pitch her. She's done a good job.
So here comes Rachel Pollard, the number 5 hitter. She's 0 for 2 today, 2 ground outs at third base, 1 coming with the bases loaded in the 1st.
Even with
that slap down the line and right, but it will hook foul. Nice catch by a parent down there. Good hands by the man in the lounge chair.
Even with the collar that Pollard is wearing so far today, she's still 5 for 11 in the tournament coming in, right now, with a trio of RBIs.
Now she is a threat, as is most of this IHA lineup. Again, when you hit 420 as a team, there aren't many weak spots. And that is certainly the case here. Durando took a little something off that offering, but it fell down low, 1-1.
I'm not sure if you could use the term dead wood because they're swinging aluminum bats, but there's not a lot of dead wood in this IHA lineup.
Dead aluminum?
Something like that.
Yeah, that works.
Or composite.
That too. Whichever's cheaper. There's a swinging strike from Durando as she took something off, and she jumps ahead of Pollard, 1-2.
Unfortunately, the aluminums are cheaper and much heavier. which may not actually be such a bad thing, you know, in terms of if you can still swing it quickly, driving the ball.
Yeah, the heavier the bat, the further the ball travels. Of course, you have to be able to swing it as Pollard takes down low, 2-2.
It's a lot about bat speed. You want to be able to get that bat through quicker, as quick as possible, you know, with the speed of the bat. But if you can get a more solid bat through the zone just as quick, you're really going to drive the ball.
Here's the 2-2. She stays alive. She taps it behind the plate, 2-2. Does Pollard.
I'd say just ask Babe Ruth, but that was way back when he was using 43 ounces.
Alfonso Soriano, of all people, uses one of the bigger bats in baseball these days. I think at 38, maybe even a 40-ounce bat. And he's about as skinny as a bat. The 2-2 again, down low, 3-2.
That one stayed low all the way through. You know, when you're a batter, you see that ball start low, it's going to stay low, you know, just to stay off of it.
So Pollard, a good at bat here. She's run the count full, 3-2, 1 out. Top of the fifth, IHA trails. Here's the payoff. Tapped up the middle past the diving Malone for a one-out single for Rachel Pollard. Excellent at bat there as she battled.
Went with the pitch. Open up the hands a little bit, almost Jeter-like, just to knock it up the middle, second base side. You know, that's a good finding that hole there, but staying with the pitch, not doing too much with the at-bat or with the swing there. Good job of hitting there by Pollard.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to stay on it, and she did. Here's Sharma, who swings through a fastball on the outside corner, 0-1.
And you wonder if all this, I guess you could say, stress on Durant, all the pitches she's throwing, something that could be like body punches to a boxer, something that could really come into play late in the game. She has not had a low-stress inning yet today.
The 0-1 blew it right by her, 0-2.
IHA has gotten runners in scoring position every single inning so far. Now they have an opportunity to do it again with Pollard. So you wonder how much of this Durando can withstand. But one thing's for sure, her coach, Joseph Leck, will stay with her all game long. She's not coming out.
The 0-2 up high, 1-2. Oh, softball throwing a lot of pitches is not exactly out of the ordinary, but we will see. She has not had an easy inning.
And the reason for it is the natural movement of the arm is underhand. That's why it's not as taxing.
The 1-2. Slapped in the right field. Just kicked foul. That was kind of in no man's land between Malone and the right fielder, Coughlin.
And Coughlin wasn't going to be able to get there. A lot of ground for her to cover. You know, and that's the situation. Again, going with the pitchers, taking what the pitcher's giving you and trying to serve it somewhere, almost served it down the line and missed by about a foot.
Well, IHA needs base runners. And not trying to do too much is the way to do it. This one is driven in the right. Coughlin moving over, and she'll put it away for out number 2.
I'm not saying that ball would have gotten out, but the wind is there's a little bit less wind now than there was when Allen hit her home run on the first thing. That might have made it a little bit more difficult of a play. But as I mentioned, the wind has died down.
That ball would have had to carry a solid 20 or 30
for sure,
feet.
For sure.
Here comes Emily Cieslik, runner on first. 2 down, top of the fifth, 3-2 game, Indian Hills on top. Cieslik takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1.
What a pitch there. Great pitch by Durando. Knee-high inside corner for a righty that's awfully difficult to even turn your hands around on to serve it.
Cieslik tried to sell that it was inside, but it was a no-go. Runner goes for second. Throw is in time to end the inning as Pollard is caught stealing to end it. So one hit, nobody left because of the caught stealing on IHA. Headed to the bottom of the fifth, 3-2 game, Indian Hills still clinging to a slim lead.
There's a good chance by Pollard there. There are 2 outs. You have an opportunity to get into scoring position as the tying run. So you don't lose too much. Now you just have the same player leading off. You have 7, 8, 9 leading off next inning who have actually had some success. The 7, 8, 9 batters have all gotten on base today. We mentioned how good this IHA lineup. So not a bad decision there by Pollard. Took a chance, and give credit to Indian Hills. They were able to make the play. Give credit to Madison Levine, the catcher, made a nice throw.
And what's interesting about that, some people will say, well, why are you running out of an inning? But you still got, again, the 6 coming up, you go 7, 8, 9. If you go in order, you turn the lineup over for the 7th inning and give yourself one last good push to make that rally. And with it just being a one-run game at 3-2, so you take that chance in the 5th because at the very least, if you go 1, 2, 3, you get a chance to turn the lineup over for the 7th.
Exactly right.
And it's worth a shot because Duranda, while she's given up hits and walks, she hasn't given up an extra base hit yet. So you're going to need a runner on second or third base to get to her. At least that's what we've seen so far.
And plus, now if 7, 8, 9 get on, IHA then gets their top 3, 4 in the lineup with a chance to drive them home.
So here is Madison Levine to lead it off in the bottom half of the 5th. For Indian Hills, she takes the ball. 1-0. 3, 4, 5, the heart of the lineup for the Braves. Thomas deals a strike at the knees. 1-1.
And the Indian Hills crowd
not crazy about that one.
They're not crazy about that call. Knee-high strike there. And speaking of the crowd, this is a tremendous crowd for the county final here. And again, this was just put here pretty much 48 hours ago. We found out it was going to be here.
1-1 is a called strike on the inside corner, 1-2.
Yeah,
well, I think the initial field was, 5 miles away from this, so it's not a tremendous drive either way.
It was all over the place, and then it was up the Rampo and everything, and it ended up back here anyway.
The 1-2 nubbed to the third baseman. Fielded by Jones, and she will throw across the diamond in time for out number 1.
Jammed her with a fastball. Came in on the hands, just had to fist it. Got down to third, and that's good pitching. Just change the location of the pitches. If you want to throw a lot of change-ups, change that location. This one, a little more on it, had to fist it down to third.
And Thomas has settled down these last 3 innings. Here is Shelby Allen, the cleanup hitter. Checked her swing. Did she go? No, she did not, says first base umpire Lynch Lampman.
Yeah, Rick, and even if you go back to the second, as we mentioned before, the run she gave in the second inning was unearned, and the 2 singles she gave it were not hard hit. They were just ground balls with eyes.
But the girl at the plate who nubs that one weakly to Ibarra, who throws low but in time for out number 2. Allen, who was just retired, she has the big hit in the game, a 2-run homer in the first. That was really the last time Indian Hills got to Thomas, as she quickly sets down the first 2 in the 5th.
And again, that one in on the hands, rolled over to shortstop, and a good pick by Coachy at first base.
Here's Devin Duranda. She takes down low, 1-0.
Gotta give some credit to Ibarra. She made the error that we mentioned back in the second inning, led to that unearned run, but since then she's made 2 nice plays. She's picked herself up. She's not sulking. She's still doing her job.
Hasn't appeared to affect her. You're right. The lefty Durando takes a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Durando 0 for 1. She walked in the first and then flew out to left. 1-1, way out in front of the Thomas changeup, 1-2.
There's that changeup again, and so lethal with that pitch. Just snapped it back. It's like pulling the string on the batter. Excellent pitch.
It'll be a 1-2. Sky to left, but well out of play. And we'll do it again, 1-2. 2 out, space is empty. Bottom of the 5th. 3-2 game, Indian Hills.
And guys, with the way, sorry, Ricky, but with the way Thomas is pitching, IHA must be wishing they could restart the game from this point right here, because Thomas is totally on her game now, whereas Durando's still having some trouble on the mound.
1-2 is up high. That'll even the count at 2 to Duranda.
Finding that rhythm, and really now she's locked into a nice rhythm here. Yeah, they've gotten a couple hits off her, one solid, but still finding the rhythm, finding a nice balance of pitches.
Rolls over that one and grounds to McGuire at second, who'll flip to first for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for Steph Thomas. 3 ground balls as she has settled in here. But her team still trails 3-2 as we head to the 6th in the Bergen County Tournament Finals. back here in Saddlebrook, New Jersey on NJ.ORG Varsity Network. Ricky Sobrano alongside Brett Luther and Mark and Sarah. 3-2 game. Indian Hills on top of IHA in the Bergen County Tournament Finals, trying to keep IHA from winning their 4th straight tournament championship. Devin Durando will be tasked with trying to keep the doors shut. She'll have to get 6 more outs. Can she do it? She gets 7, 8, 9 this inning as this one is skied to right. Coffin will give it a look, but it's out of play, and the same parent down the field or down the line made a catch again.
Keep in mind,
good day for him.
Keep in mind, there are white lines down there, and that's where everybody's sitting. So
yeah,
even if they caught it, it'd be foul ball.
Yeah.
And so the parent just goes over there and just 2 for 2.
Well, Coughlin was not in the neighborhood, so why not? Here's Emily Cieslik in an 0-1 hole. Now she rips that one down in the left for a well-struck single to start it off. Cieslik has hit the ball really hard today, now 2 for 3.
Yeah, we mentioned before she came into this game 0 for the tournament. Just looked like it today. And you wonder if the cameo she got at the plate before Pollard got thrown out last inning gave her a little bit of an edge and a insight into exactly how Durando was going to try and work her.
Well, designated players are in there for their bat typically, as we're probably going to have a pinch runner for Cieslik here. That's what the delay is right now.
Actually not going to. Just going to go
Let's
straight
see.
up.
No, they won't. Kennerson had been pinch running for her.
Kennerson ran in the last time, and that's after Cecil got to second base. So we'll see if that happens again.
Walter squares the bunt, gets it down the first base line. They have one play. It's the first, and they make it for out number 1. Sacrifice successful there as Cieslik goes down to second base.
I can see Kennerson on the bench right now for IJ. She's not moving, so it appears they're going to stick with Cieslik to run here.
So Cieslik will have to get a good secondary lead as Reagan Jones strides to the plate. 1 for 2 today. Potential tying run on second base. 1-run game, top of the 6th. That one gets a... No, actually struck Jones on the left front arm. So she'll take first, and it's now runners on first and second with 1 down as the lineup will turn over.
And this is what we talked about during the break, Brett. Me and you, we mentioned how if these batters in the bottom lineup do get on, then you flip the lineup card over, you have your best hitters coming to the plate with a chance to tie the game, exactly what they have now. Still no pinch runner for Cieslik at second base.
Second hit batsman of the game for Durando. First one was Thomas, who's striding to the plate right now. Steph Thomas hasn't been set down today. 1 for 1 with an RBI single, a walk, and was hit by a pitch. Durando deals. Just missed, 1-0.
Playing with fire now. You don't want to, you don't want to walk bases loaded. Guevara, Ibarra, McGuire all waiting in the wings.
Here's the 1-0. There's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
We mentioned Thomas already has 1 hit so far today. She has 19 multi-hit games so far this season, so getting 2 hits a game is no problem for her.
Well, when you're hitting 500, yeah, that would seem to be the case.
You need a few multi-hit games to get there, true.
So now time is called at the plate. Runners on first and second, 1 down, 3-2 game. IHA threatening to tie it in the Bergen County Championships. Off-speed pitch down low. Good eye by Thomas. 2-1.
This really is kind of an iconic moment of the game. You think about the 2 pitchers who we talked about all day were the key players coming into this game, facing each other, and maybe the biggest spot of the game here in the 6th inning.
Durando rocks and fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Thomas was late trying to catch up to that outside fastball.
Excellent pitch. Just left it up high enough where Thomas couldn't catch up to it going away from her.
It'll be a 2-2. Outside, and we have a full count, 3-2.
I was just going to say before the 2-2 pitch, doesn't the count have to go full here?
Yeah.
I mean, really, we can't not have a full count in this situation.
The dramatics of it. Here's the payoff from Durando, and we'll do it again. Thomas stays alive.
And now we're going to have 8 foul balls until someone has a heart attack from excitement.
What was it last year in the Women's College World Series? Somebody that was like a 26-pitch at bat or something.
Wow.
Like that.
Really? Wow.
So, let's see if it happens here.
The payoff again. Tapped weakly to second base. Malone flips the second, not in time. Malone backed up. When the ball was hit to her, it was a high chopper flip to second. Leocata was a little bit late covering, and they get nobody. An infield single for Thomas, who will immediately be pinch run for. Monarchy comes on.
That is such a tough, it's an in-between play there. There's no way you can really go because, Thomas was going to beat that down the line. Only chance to go to second. And on that play, Leocata was a little late covering the bag, and that's all that it took for the throw to be late.
And there was a slight hesitation as she waited for Leocata to come on.
And now the infield's in.
Bases loaded. Tying run on third. Here's Guevara. She takes outside, 1-0. Guevara grounded into a fielder's choice with the bases loaded in her last at bat.
Excuse me, guys. Third time today I just had bases loaded, 1 out. They've only scored 1 run off of those situations so far.
Durando has been good in these situations as Guevara swings through an off-speed pitch, 1-1.
It's like she's almost gotten better when the pressure's been at its highest. And she's demonstrated that here, jumping on Guevara with that nice pitch for the strike 1.
She has not been uncomfortable in big spots.